Hey there, you beautiful souls watching this video right now. Yes, you. Have you ever had one of those moments in life where a single, fleeting decision changed everything? A moment where you thought you were just going through the motions, but then, bam! Fate threw you a curveball that turned your world upside down? Picture this, a crowded New Year's Eve party in the heart of New York City, the kind where the air is thick with laughter, champagne, and that electric buzz of possibility. The clock is ticking down to midnight, and in the chaos of the countdown, two strangers lock eyes across the room. Their lips meet in a kiss meant for someone else entirely. A mistaken kiss that should have been nothing more than a funny story to tell later. But what if that one accidental moment sparked a love story so powerful, so heartwarming, that it defied all odds and led to a lifetime of love? That's the mystery at the heart of this story, and if you stick with me until the end, I promise you're going to find out exactly how one tiny mistake became the greatest adventure of two people's lives. So grab a cozy blanket, maybe a snack or two, and let's dive into this incredible journey together. Because trust me, you're not going to want to miss a single second of this. Now, let me ask you something personal because I want us to connect right here, right now. Have you ever felt like the universe was trying to tell you something? Maybe it was a chance encounter, a missed train, or even a wrong number that led you somewhere you never expected. That's what this story is all about. Those magical, unexplainable moments that feel like destiny pulling the strings. I know you've clicked on this video because you're curious, maybe even a little hopeful, to hear a love story that'll make your heart skip a beat. And I get it. There's something about a good romance that just pulls us in, isn't there? It's like we're all searching for proof that love can conquer anything, even the wildest of mistakes. Well, I'm here to deliver that proof, and I'm going to tell you this story like I'm sitting across from you at a coffee shop, sharing the kind of tale that makes you lean in closer and forget the world around you. By the time we're done, you're going to feel like you know these characters, like their joys and struggles are your own, and you're going to be rooting for them every step of the way. So let's make a deal. You stay with me, and I'll give you a story that's going to leave you smiling, maybe even tearing up a little, and definitely believing in the power of love. Let's set the scene. It's December 31st, 2015, and New York City is alive with that chaotic, glittering energy that only New Year's Eve can bring. The streets are packed with people bundled up in scarves and coats, their breath visible in the chilly air as they rush to parties, bars, or Times Square to watch the ball drop. Our story begins at a rooftop party in Manhattan, where the skyline sparkles like a promise of something extraordinary. The venue is one of those trendy lofts with fairy lights strung across the ceiling, a live band playing jazzy covers of pop hits, and a crowd of strangers mingling with the kind of reckless abandon that only comes once a year. Among the sea of faces is our first key character, Emily Harper, a 28-year-old graphic designer with a laugh that could light up a room and a heart that's been bruised one too many times. Emily's not looking for love tonight. In fact, she's sworn it off after a string of bad dates and a breakup that left her questioning if true love even exists. She's here because her best friend Mia dragged her out, promising a night of fun to shake off the past. Emily's the kind of person who feels everything deeply, but she hides it behind a quick wit and a smile that makes you feel like you've known her forever. As she sips her drink and scans the crowd, she's not expecting anything more than a few laughs and maybe a dance or two. But the universe, as it often does, has other plans. Across the room, we meet our second key character, Lucas Bennett, a 30-year-old architect with a quiet charm and a habit of getting lost in his thoughts. Lucas is the guy who notices the little things, like the way the city lights reflect off the Hudson River or the exact shade of blue in someone's eyes. He's at the party because his coworker, Jake, insisted he needed to live a little, instead of spending another night sketching blueprints in his tiny Brooklyn apartment. Lucas isn't exactly the life of the party. He's more comfortable observing from the sidelines, but there's something about tonight that feels different. Maybe it's the music, maybe it's the champagne, or maybe it's the way the crowd seems to hum with possibility. As the clock inches closer to midnight, Lucas finds himself drawn to the dance floor, where a twist of fate is about to change everything. You see, Lucas has been invited to this party by mistake. His name was confused with someone else's on the guest list. He doesn't know it yet, but that mix-up is the first thread in a tapestry of destiny that's about to unfold. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does a mistaken kiss happen in a room full of people? How do two strangers end up in a moment that changes their lives forever? That's the question that's going to keep you glued to this video, and I promise I'm going to answer it. But first, let's talk about why this story matters to you. We've all had moments where we've wondered, what if? What if I'd taken that chance? What if I'd said yes instead of no? What if I'd been brave enough to follow my heart? Emily and Lucas are about to face those questions head-on, and their journey is going to remind you that sometimes, the biggest mistakes lead to the most beautiful outcomes. This isn't just a story about romance, it's about second chances, about trusting your gut, and about believing that life has a way of working things out, even when it feels like everything's gone wrong. As you watch, you're going to see yourself in Emily's doubts, in Lucas's quiet hopes, and in the way they both stumble into something bigger than themselves. And I'm going to be right here with you, guiding you through every twist and turn, making sure you feel every heartbeat of this story. Let's go back to that rooftop party. The band is playing a soulful rendition of Auld Lang Syne, and the crowd is counting down the final seconds of the year. Emily's standing near the edge of the dance floor, her drink nearly empty, when she notices a guy across the room. He's tall, with messy brown hair and a smile that's equal parts shy and intriguing. She doesn't know why, but something about him feels familiar, like she's seen him in a dream she can't quite remember. Lucas, meanwhile, is trying to navigate the crowd, his heart pounding for reasons he can't explain. He's not the type to make bold moves, but tonight, something's pulling him forward. The countdown hits 3, 2, 1, and the room erupts in cheers. Confetti falls, champagne glasses clink, and in the chaos, Emily and Lucas are pushed closer together by the crowd. Their eyes meet, and for a split second, time seems to stop. It's like the universe is holding its breath, waiting to see what happens next. And then, without thinking, without knowing each other's names, they lean in for a kiss that was never meant to happen. But here's where things get juicy. That kiss wasn't just a random moment. It was a mistake, a mix-up that neither of them saw coming. Emily thought Lucas was someone else, someone she'd been texting all night, someone she'd been building up in her mind as her midnight match. Lucas, on the other hand, thought Emily was the person Jake had been trying to set him up with all evening. In that fleeting moment, they both believed they were kissing the right person, but they were so wrong. And yet, that mistake, that one mistaken kiss, set off a chain of events that would tangle their lives together in ways they never could have imagined. You're probably wondering, did they figure it out right away? Did they laugh it off and go their separate ways? Or did something else happen, something that made them question everything they thought they knew about love, fate, and second chances? I'm not going to spoil it just yet, but I will tell you this. That kiss was only the beginning, and what happened next is going to blow your mind. I want you to think about something as we dive deeper into this story. Have you ever had a moment where you felt like you were exactly where you were meant to be, even if it didn't make sense at the time? That's what Emily and Lucas are about to discover, and their journey is going to take them through heartbreak, laughter, and moments so tender they'll make your heart ache. This story is for anyone who's ever taken a leap of faith, who's ever wondered if love can find you when you least expect it. It's for the dreamers, the skeptics, the hopeless romantics, and everyone in between. As we follow Emily and Lucas, you're going to see how one night, one mistake, and one kiss can rewrite the future. And I'm going to be right here with you, sharing every detail, every emotion, and every twist that makes this love story so unforgettable. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a world where love defies logic, where mistakes become miracles, and where two strangers find their way to each other against all odds. Now, let's talk about what's at stake here. Emily spent years building walls around her heart, convinced that love is just a fairy tale for other people. Lucas, on the other hand, has always believed in love but never quite found the courage to chase it. That New Year's Eve kiss was supposed to be a fleeting moment, a funny story to laugh about later. But when they realize the truth, that they kissed the wrong person, what do? Do they walk away, chalking it up to a silly mistake? Or do they take a chance on something that feels too big, too real to ignore? That's the question that's going to keep you hooked, and I promise you, the answer is worth sticking around for. This story isn't just about romance. It's about the courage to trust your heart, even when it's terrifying. It's about the messy, beautiful, unpredictable ways that life brings people together. And it's about the kind of love that makes you believe in destiny, even if you've spent your whole life doubting it. As we wrap up this introduction, I want you to imagine yourself in Emily's shoes, standing on that rooftop, the city lights stretching out below you, the taste of champagne still on your lips. Or maybe you're Lucas, your heart racing as you realize you've just kissed a stranger who feels like anything but. What would you do in that moment? Would you laugh it off and move on? Or would you feel that spark, that whisper of something bigger, and chase it with everything you've got? That's what this story is going to explore, and I'm so excited to share it with you. But here's the thing. Right after that kiss, something happens that neither Emily nor Lucas could have predicted. Something that turns their world upside down and sets them on a path they never saw coming. What was it? And how did it change everything? You're going to have to keep watching to find out, because this is where the real story begins, and trust me, it's only going to get better from here. Alright my friends, let's pick up right where we left off, with that rooftop kiss still lingering in the air, the confetti settling on the floor, and Emily and Lucas standing there, hearts pounding, unsure of what just happened but feeling the weight of it all the same. You're probably itching to know what comes next, and I promise, I'm going to take you deeper into this heartwarming love story, peeling back the layers of who these two people are, what brought them to that moment, and what's about to unravel. This isn't just about a mistaken kiss, it's about two lives colliding in a way that feels like fate, destiny, and maybe a little bit of chaos all wrapped into one. As we dive into their world, I'm going to share the background that shaped Emily and Lucas, introduce a few new faces who add their own twists to this tale, and sprinkle in just enough mystery to keep you hooked. You're not just watching a story, you're living it with me, feeling every heartbeat, every doubt, and every spark of hope. So let's keep going, because what happens after that kiss is going to pull you in even deeper, and I'm right here with you, ready to unravel this romance one step at a time. Let's start with Emily Harper, because to understand why that kiss hit her so hard, you need to know where she's coming from. Emily grew up in a small town in upstate New York, the kind of place where everyone knows your name and your business, where Friday nights meant high school football games and summers were spent swimming in the lake. She was the dreamer of her family, always sketching in notebooks, turning her wild imagination into art that made people stop and stare. But small towns can feel like cages when your heart's set on something bigger, and Emily moved to New York City at 22, chasing a career as a graphic designer. She's built a life she's proud of. Her tiny apartment in the East Village is filled with plants, sketchbooks, and fairy lights, a cozy haven in the chaos of the city. But love. That's been a tougher road. Emily's last relationship ended a year ago, when her boyfriend of 3 years, Ethan, walked out after telling her he needed space to find himself. The breakup left her questioning everything. Her choices, her worth, her belief in the kind of love you see in movies. That's why she's at this New Year's Eve party, not looking for romance but hoping to shake off the weight of her past. Her best friend, Mia, a bubbly event planner with a knack for dragging Emily out of her shell, insisted she come tonight, promising it would be a fresh start. But as Emily stands there, still reeling from that kiss with a stranger, she's not sure if she's ready for what the universe seems to be throwing her way. There's something about Lucas's eyes though, something that feels like a memory she can't place, and it's stirring up questions she's not sure she wants to answer. Now, let's shift to Lucas Bennett, because his story adds another layer to this tangled web of fate. Lucas grew up in a quiet suburb of Boston, raised by a single mom who worked 2 jobs to keep them afloat. He was the kid who spent hours building model cities out of cardboard, dreaming of designing buildings that would touch the sky. Architecture became his passion, and after college, he landed a job at a small firm in Brooklyn, where he's been pouring his heart into projects that blend art and function. Lucas is the kind of guy who notices the way sunlight hits a brick wall or the rhythm of footsteps on a busy street. But when it comes to his own life, he's a little lost. He's had a few relationships, but none that stuck. Mostly because he's too busy sketching or overthinking to let anyone get too close. His coworker, Jake, a loud and charming guy who's always pushing Lucas to loosen up, invited him to this party, claiming it was a chance to meet someone special. But here's the kicker. Lucas wasn't even supposed to be here. Jake had meant to invite another friend, a guy named Luke, but a mix-up in his phone contacts landed Lucas on the guest list instead. That mistaken invitation led to that mistaken kiss, and now Lucas is standing there, his heart racing, wondering why a stranger's touch feels like it's unlocked something inside him. As he looks at Emily, he's caught between wanting to know more and wanting to run, because something about her feels too big, too real, for someone who spent so long keeping his heart under lock and key. Here's where things get even more interesting, because this story isn't just about Emily and Lucas, it's about the people around them, the ones who add their own colors to this canvas of love and destiny. Let's meet Mia, Emily's best friend, who's more than just the life of the party. Mia's a whirlwind of energy, with a laugh that echoes and a heart that's always open, but she's got her own struggles. She's been planning events for years, chasing the dream of starting her own company, but the grind of working for someone else is wearing her down. Mia's at the party tonight not just to support Emily but to network with a big client who could change her career. She's the one who's been texting Emily all night, trying to set her up with a guy she met earlier. A guy she described as tall, charming, and totally Emily's type. That's who Emily thought she was kissing when she locked lips with Lucas, and Mia's about to be just as confused as everyone else when the truth comes out. Then there's Jake, Lucas's coworker, who's got a knack for stirring up trouble without meaning to. Jake's the kind of guy who knows everyone, talks fast, and always has a story to tell, but he's also hiding a secret. He's been crushing on Mia for months, ever since they met at a work event. He's the one who invited Lucas tonight, thinking it'd be a chance to play matchmaker, but his mix-up with the guest list has set off a chain reaction he never saw coming. These two, Mia and Jake, are about to become part of this story in ways that add new layers of drama, humor and heart, and you're going to love seeing how their paths cross with Emily and Lucas's. Now, let's add a little more mystery to keep you on the edge of your seat. That kiss wasn't just a random mistake. It's tied to something deeper, something neither Emily nor Lucas knows about yet. You see, earlier that night, Emily had been texting someone through a dating app, someone she'd been chatting with for weeks. His name was Alex, or so she thought, and their conversations had been easy, flirty, the kind that made her smile at her phone in the middle of the night. Mia had convinced her that Alex was at the party, and when Emily saw Lucas across the room, she was sure it was him. But here's the twist. Lucas isn't on any dating apps. He's never heard of Alex, and he's definitely not the guy Emily's been texting. So who is Alex? And why did Emily think Lucas was him? On Lucas's side, things are just as murky. Jake had spent the whole night hyping up a woman he wanted Lucas to meet, someone he described as, "Perfect for you, man, trust me." Lucas assumed Emily was that woman, but Jake's about to realize he got his wires crossed too. These mix-ups aren't just coincidences, they're pieces of a puzzle that's going to take this whole story to unravel, and I promise you, the truth is going to be worth the wait. You're probably wondering, how do these mistakes keep piling up? And what's going to happen when Emily and Lucas figure out they kissed the wrong person? Let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this story is hitting you right in the feels. We've all been in moments where life feels like it's spinning out of control, where a single choice, big or small, changes everything. Maybe it was a job you took on a whim, a trip you almost didn't go on, or a conversation you weren't sure you should have. For Emily and Lucas, that kiss is their turning point, but it's not just about them. It's about the way life throws us into each other's paths, sometimes by accident, sometimes by design. As we follow their journey, you're going to see how their doubts, their fears, and their hopes mirror your own. Emily's wondering if she can trust her heart again, and Lucas is grappling with whether he's brave enough to chase something real. Meanwhile, Mia's fighting for her dreams, and Jake's trying to figure out how to be honest about his feelings. These are real people with real struggles, and their story is going to remind you that love, whether it's romantic, platonic, or even love for yourself, is worth fighting for, even when it's messy. I'm telling you this because I want you to feel connected to them, to root for them, to see yourself in their choices. This isn't just a story, it's a mirror, reflecting all the ways we stumble into love and meaning. As the party continues, the energy on that rooftop is shifting. The band is playing a slower song now, and the crowd is starting to thin as people head out to other celebrations. Emily and Lucas find themselves standing just a few feet apart, both too stunned to speak but unable to walk away. There's a spark between them, a pull that neither can explain, but there's also confusion. Emily's mind is racing. She's thinking about Alex, about the texts, about how this stranger's kiss felt like it meant something. Lucas, meanwhile, is replaying Jake's words in his head, wondering if this is the woman he was supposed to meet. Before they can say anything, Mia bursts through the crowd, her eyes wide with excitement. Was that him? Was that Alex? She asks, grabbing Emily's arm. At the same time, Jake appears at Lucas's side, clapping him on the back and saying, "Dude, I didn't know you had it in you. So what's her name?" The moment is chaos. Emily and Lucas lock eyes again, both realizing something's off, but neither ready to admit it. The air is thick with unspoken questions, and just when it seems like they might finally talk, a shout from the other side of the room cuts through the noise. Someone's calling for Mia, and she drags Emily away, promising to be right back. Lucas watches her go, his heart sinking, and Jake pulls him toward the bar saying, "Don't worry, man, we'll find her again." But as the night spirals on, one thing is clear. This isn't the end of their story. It's just the beginning of something much bigger, something that's going to test their courage, their hearts, and their belief in love itself. Here's where I'm going to leave you for now, because I know you're dying to know what happens next. Did Emily and Lucas find each other again that night? Who is this mysterious Alex? And why did he disappear? What's the deal with Jake's mix-up, and how does Mia's big client fit into all of this? I'm not going to answer those questions just yet, but I promise you, every single one of them is going to lead to moments that'll make you laugh, gasp, and maybe even cry. This love story is about more than a mistaken kiss. It's about the way life surprises us, the way people change us, and the way love finds us when we least expect it. You're in this with me, and I'm not letting you go until we've seen every twist and turn of this heartwarming journey. So, stick around, because the next part of this story is going to take you somewhere you never saw coming, and I can't wait to share it with you. Alright, my friends, we're back, picking up right where we left off on that glittering Manhattan rooftop, where Emily and Lucas are caught in the aftermath of a mistaken kiss that's about to turn their lives upside down. The air is still buzzing with New Year's Eve energy, but there's a new tension simmering, a sense that something bigger is unfolding. Something that's going to test their hearts, their courage, and their belief in love, fate, and destiny. You're probably on the edge of your seat, wondering what that shout across the room was about, who this mysterious Alex is, and whether Emily and Lucas will ever get a chance to talk and unravel the mix-up that brought them together. I'm going to pull you deeper into this heartwarming love story, escalating the stakes, weaving in a twist that'll leave your jaw on the floor, and pushing the narrative toward a climax that's going to keep you glued to this video. We'll also dive further into the subplots with Mia and Jake, adding layers of drama and intrigue while keeping the suspense tight. I'm right here with you, sharing every moment of this romance like we're old friends swapping stories, and I promise, this next part is going to hit you right in the feels. So let's dive back in, because the night's about to take a turn nobody saw coming, and you're not going to want to miss a single second of this. As the band plays a slow, soulful tune and the crowd thins out, Emily's heart is still racing from that kiss with Lucas. A kiss that felt like it held a lifetime of promises, even though she's pretty sure it was a mistake. Mia's tugging her arm, pulling her toward the other side of the rooftop, where a tall, sharply dressed man in his 40s is waving them over. That's him, Em, the client I was telling you about. Mia whispers, her voice bubbling with excitement but laced with nerves. This is Daniel Carter, a big-shot event producer who could be Mia's ticket to launching her own company. Emily forces a smile trying to focus, but her mind keeps drifting back to Lucas, to the way his eyes seem to see right through her, to the way that kiss felt like it belonged to someone she'd known forever. She glances back, hoping to catch sight of him, but the crowd has swallowed him up, and Mia's already introducing her to Daniel, who's all charm and polished smiles. Daniel's talking about a huge project, a charity gala that could put Mia's name on the map, but there's something about him that makes Emily uneasy. Maybe it's the way his eyes linger a little too long, or the way he seems to know more about her than he should. So, Emily, he says, leaning closer, Mia tells me you're the one who's been chatting with my friend Alex. Where is he, anyway? Emily freezes, her stomach twisting. Alex? The guy she's been texting? The guy she thought she kissed? Before she can answer, Mia jumps in, laughing nervously, saying, "Oh, he's around here somewhere." But Emily's not so sure, and as she scans the room, a sinking feeling tells her that something's seriously off. Who is this Alex? And why does Daniel seem so invested in him? The mystery deepens, and Emily's starting to wonder if that kiss was more than just a mix-up. It might be the key to something much bigger. Meanwhile, across the rooftop, Lucas is trying to make sense of what just happened. His heart still pounding from the kiss that caught him completely off guard. Jake's at his side, grinning like he's just won the lottery, saying, "Man, I didn't know you had that in you. So who was she? Was that the girl I was telling you about?" Lucas shakes his head, his thoughts a jumble. "I don't know, Jake. I don't even know her name." Jake laughs, clapping him on the shoulder, but there's a flicker of confusion in his eyes. "Wait, what? I thought you were meeting Sarah, the girl I told you about. Brunette, artsy, works in design." Lucas's heart skips a beat. Emily didn't seem like a Sarah, and now he's wondering if he kissed the wrong person entirely. Before he can ask more, Jake's phone buzzes, and he glances at it, his face falling. "Oh man," he mutters, "Sarah's pissed. She's been waiting at the bar, wondering where I am." Lucas's mind reels. Sarah? Then who was the woman he kissed? As Jake drags him toward the bar to smooth things over with Sarah, Lucas can't shake the image of Emily's face, the way her eyes held his like they were searching for something. He wants to find her to figure out what just happened, but the crowd is chaotic, and Jake's already pulling him into a conversation with a woman who's clearly not happy. Sarah's there, arms crossed, her expression a mix of annoyance and hurt, and Lucas feels like he's stepped into a drama he didn't sign up for. But here's where things take a wild turn, As Lucas glances at Sarah, he notices a guy standing nearby, watching them with an intensity that sends a chill down his spine. The guy's got a phone in his hand, typing furiously, and something about him feels familiar. Is this Alex? And if so, what's he doing here, watching Lucas like he knows something Lucas doesn't? Now, let's pull back and add a twist that's going to make your head spin. As Emily and Mia talk to Daniel, Emily's phone buzzes with a new message. She glances at it, expecting it to be from Alex, but instead, it's a text from an unknown number. The message reads, "You kissed the wrong guy, Emily. But maybe that's not such a bad thing." Her breath catches, and she looks around, half expecting someone to be watching her. The message is cryptic, unsettling, and it raises more questions than answers. Who sent it? How do they know about the kiss? And why does it feel like someone's playing a game with her heart? Emily shows the text to Mia, who brushes it off as a prank, but Emily's not convinced. There's something about the timing, the specificity, that makes her think this is connected to the kiss, to Lucas, to everything that's happened tonight. Across the room, Lucas is dealing with his own shock. Jake's just admitted that the Sarah he was supposed to meet was never at the party. Jake got a text earlier that night, supposedly from Sarah, saying she couldn't make it, but now she's here, and she swears she never sent that message. Someone's been pulling strings, setting up these mix-ups, and Lucas is starting to wonder if he and Emily were meant to cross paths, or if someone wanted them to. The stakes are higher now, because this isn't just about a mistaken kiss anymore. There's a shadow behind this love story, a hidden player who's orchestrating these moments, and neither Emily nor Lucas knows why. You're probably thinking, who's behind this? Is it Alex? Daniel? Someone else entirely? I'm not going to spill the beans yet, but I promise, this twist is going to lead to a climax that'll leave you speechless. Let's dive into the subplots, because Mia and Jake are about to add their own fuel to this fire. Mia's conversation with Daniel is going better than she expected. He's talking contracts, timelines, and big money for the charity gala. But there's a catch. Daniel wants Emily to design the promotional materials, which means she'd be working closely with him. Mia's thrilled, seeing this as a win for both of them, but Emily's hesitant. There's something about Daniel that doesn't sit right, and the mention of Alex has her on edge. Mia, ever the optimist, pushes her to say yes, saying it's a chance to move forward, to stop letting her past hold her back. But what Mia doesn't know is that her own heart is about to get tangled up in this mess. Jake, who's been watching Mia from across the room, finally works up the courage to approach her. He's been crushing on her for months. But every time he tries to talk to her, his words come out wrong. Tonight, though, fueled by the chaos of the party and a few drinks, he decides it's now or never. He catches Mia as she steps away from Daniel, and their conversation is electric, awkward, funny, and full of that spark that makes you think, oh, there's something here. But just as Jake's about to confess how he feels, Daniel interrupts, pulling Mia back into work talk, leaving Jake frustrated and wondering if he'll ever get his chance. This budding connection between Mia and Jake is a subplot that's going to weave through the main story, adding layers of humor and heart, but it's also going to complicate things for Emily and Lucas in ways they can't yet see. You're going to love watching these two navigate their own feelings while the main mystery unfolds, because their story is just as much about love and courage as Emily and Lucas's. Now, let's talk about why this story is hitting you so hard, because I know you're feeling it. We've all been in moments where life throws us a curveball, a chance encounter, a message that changes everything, a feeling you can't explain. For Emily and Lucas, that kiss was their curveball, but now it's clear that something bigger is at play. Someone's watching them, someone's pulling strings, and the question is, why? This isn't just a love story, it's a mystery wrapped in romance, a tale of mistaken identity that's starting to feel like destiny. Emily's grappling with her fear of getting hurt again, wondering if she can trust this spark with Lucas or if it's just another mistake. Lucas, meanwhile, is torn between his instinct to stay safe and his desire to chase the connection he felt in that kiss. And then there's that cryptic text, that shadowy figure watching from the sidelines, and the growing sense that this night was no accident. You're probably wondering, what's the truth behind these mix-ups? Is someone trying to bring Emily and Lucas together, or keep them apart? And how will they navigate the chaos when they don't even know each other's names? I'm telling you this because I want you to feel their confusion, their hope, their fear, like it's your own. This story is a reminder that love doesn't always come easy, but sometimes, the messiest moments lead to the most beautiful outcomes. As the night pushes past midnight, The rooftop party is winding down, but the tension is only building. Emily's still holding her phone, staring at that mysterious text, her mind racing with possibilities. She wants to find Lucas, to ask him who he is, to figure out if that kiss meant as much to him as it did to her. But Mia's pulling her toward the exit, saying they need to meet Daniel's team downstairs to seal the deal. Lucas, meanwhile, is stuck with Jake and Sarah, who's now arguing with Jake about the mix-up. He keeps glancing around, hoping to spot Emily, but she's gone, swallowed up by the crowd. That guy with the phone, the one who was watching them, is still there, and Lucas catches his eye for a split second before the guy slips away into the shadows. The air feels heavy now, like the universe is holding its breath, waiting for the next move. Emily and Lucas are so close to finding each other, but every step they take seems to pull them further apart. And then, just as Emily steps into the elevator with Mia, her phone buzzes again. Another text from the unknown number. Don't look for him yet. You'll know when it's time. Her heart stops, and she looks at Mia, who's oblivious, chatting about the gala. Lucas, back on the rooftop, feels a hand on his shoulder. Not Jake's, not Sarah's, but someone new, someone who says, "You're Lucas, right? We need to talk." Who are these people and what do they want? What's the truth behind that kiss, and how will it change Emily and Lucas forever? You're going to have to keep watching, because this love story is about to explode into something you never saw coming, and I'm right here with you, ready to see where it takes us next. Alright, my friends, we're diving back into this heartwarming love story, right where we left off on that electric New Year's Eve rooftop in Manhattan, where Emily and Lucas are caught in a whirlwind of mistaken identity, cryptic messages, and a kiss that's turned their worlds upside down. The tension is thicker than ever, with Emily stepping into an elevator, her phone buzzing with a mysterious text that says, "Don't look for him yet. You'll know when it's time," and Lucas facing a stranger who's just grabbed his shoulder, saying, "You're Lucas, right? We need to talk." You're probably buzzing with questions. Who's behind these cryptic messages? Who's this Alex guy, and what's his deal? How are Emily and Lucas going to find each other in this chaos? And what does that kiss really mean for their future? I'm here to guide you through the climax of this romance, unraveling the mysteries, resolving the conflicts, and delivering a final twist that'll leave you in awe. We'll also tie up the subplots with Mia and Jake, making sure every thread of this story comes together in a way that feels satisfying and unforgettable. This is the moment you've been waiting for, so grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's see how this tale of love, fate, and destiny comes to a close. Because I promise, it's going to be a ride you won't forget. As the elevator doors close, Emily's heart is pounding, her mind racing over that second text from the unknown number. She's clutching her phone, staring at the words, "Don't look for him yet. You'll know when it's time," and feeling a mix of fear and curiosity that's making her stomach churn. Mia's next to her, chatting excitedly about Daniel Carter's offer for the charity gala, oblivious to the storm brewing in Emily's head. Emily wants to tell her about the text, to ask if she knows anything about this Alex she's been texting, but something holds her back. The elevator dings, and they step out into the lobby, where Daniel's waiting with a group of sharply dressed colleagues. He's all smiles, offering Emily a glass of champagne and talking about how her designs could elevate the gala. But Emily's barely listening. Her eyes keep darting to the crowd, hoping to spot Lucas, the stranger whose kiss felt like it cracked open something inside her. She's starting to wonder if that kiss was a mistake or a sign, and the cryptic texts are only making her more determined to find out. Meanwhile, Daniel's demeanor shifts slightly when he notices her distraction. "Looking for someone?" he asks, his tone a little too knowing. Emily hesitates, then decides to take a chance. "Yeah, actually. Do you know a guy named Alex? I was supposed to meet him tonight." Daniel's smile falters for a split second, but he recovers quickly, saying, "Alex? Oh, he's around. Probably got caught up in the party. Why don't you stick with us for now?" There's something in his voice, a hint of control, maybe even secrecy, that makes Emily's skin prickle. She nods, playing along, but her gut's screaming that Daniel knows more than he's letting on. As Mia pulls her into the group, Emily makes a silent promise to herself. She's going to find Lucas, and she's going to get answers, no matter what it takes. Up on the rooftop, Lucas is face to face with the stranger who grabbed his shoulder. A man in his 30s with sharp eyes and a nervous energy that sets Lucas on edge. "I'm Alex," the guy says, his voice low, like he's afraid someone's listening. Lucas's heart skips a beat. Alex? The name rings a bell, but he can't place why. Before he can ask, Alex leans in, his words rushed. Look, I don't have much time. That girl you kissed? Emily? That wasn't supposed to happen. I was the one she was meant to meet tonight. Lucas's mind reels. Emily, that's her name. But how does this guy know her? And why does he look so panicked? Alex explains, his voice barely above a whisper, that he's been texting Emily for weeks through a dating app, set up by a mutual friend, Daniel Carter. He was supposed to meet her at the party, but something went wrong. I got a message telling me to stay away, Alex says, pulling out his phone to show Lucas a text that mirrors the one Emily received. Don't meet her yet. You'll know when it's time. Lucas's head is spinning. Someone's orchestrating this, playing with their lives like pieces on a chessboard. Before he can ask more, Jake interrupts, dragging Sarah with him, who's still fuming about the mix-up. Lucas, we gotta go. Sarah's done with this place, Jake says, but Lucas brushes him off, his eyes locked on Alex. Who sent that text? Lucas demands. Alex shakes his head, his face pale. I don't know, but I think it's someone close to Daniel. He's been acting weird all night. Just then, Lucas catches a glimpse of Emily through the crowd, stepping out of the elevator with Mia and Daniel. His heart lurches. He needs to talk to her, to tell her what he's just learned. But before he can move, Alex grabs his arm. Don't go to her yet. If you do, it could ruin everything. Lucas pulls away, his patience gone. Ruin what? I'm done with games. He pushes through the crowd, determined to find Emily, but the rooftop is a maze of people, and every step feels like it's pulling him further from her. Now let's bring this story to its climax, because the pieces are finally coming together, and the truth is about to hit like a tidal wave. Emily's in the lobby, surrounded by Daniel's team, but she's barely hearing their talk about the gala. Her phone buzzes again, and this time, the text is a photo, a blurry snapshot of her and Lucas kissing on the rooftop, taken from a distance. Her breath catches, and she feels a chill run down her spine. Someone was watching them, someone who knew exactly what was happening. She shows the photo to Mia, who's finally starting to realize something's wrong. What the hell is going on? Mia asks, her voice shaking. Before Emily can answer, Daniel steps closer, his charm replaced by a steely edge. You got a text, didn't you? He says, his eyes narrowing. Emily's heart pounds, she's caught, but she's not backing down. Who's sending these? And why do you know so much about Alex? She demands. Daniel hesitates, then sighs, like he's been caught in a lie he can't talk his way out of. All right, Emily, he says, lowering his voice. I didn't want it to come to this, but you're in deeper than you think. He reveals that he's the one behind the texts, orchestrating the mix-ups to keep Emily and Alex apart. Why? Because Daniel's been in love with Emily's sister, Claire, who lives back in her hometown and has been pushing Emily to find love again after her breakup. Daniel, knowing Emily was too guarded to try, set up the Alex profile to draw her out, planning to introduce her to Alex, a friend he thought would be perfect for her, at the party. But when Lucas showed up instead, thanks to Jake's mix-up, Daniel saw a spark he hadn't expected. He sent the texts to buy time, to see if Lucas was the real deal, but now things are spiraling out of control. Emily's stunned, her mind racing. Her sister? Daniel? This was all a setup? But before she can process it, she hears Lucas's voice calling her name from across the lobby. The climax hits as Lucas pushes through the crowd, his eyes locked on Emily. He's heard enough from Alex to know the truth, that Daniel's been pulling strings, that the kiss was a mistake but maybe also fate. He reaches Emily just as Daniel steps between them, trying to explain himself, but Lucas isn't having it. Emily, I don't know what's going on, but that kiss, it wasn't an accident, he says, his voice steady despite the chaos. I don't care who you were supposed to meet. I felt something and I think you did too. Emily's heart is in her throat. She wants to believe him, but the weight of Daniel's revelation is crushing her. Was this all a game? Or was that kiss the one true thing in a night full of lies? Mia, sensing the moment, steps in, pulling Daniel aside and giving Emily and Lucas a chance to talk. They step outside into the cold New York night, the city lights glittering around them, and for the first time, they're alone. Emily tells Lucas about the texts, about Daniel's plan, about her sister's involvement. Lucas listens, his face softening, and then he shares his side. Jake's mix-up, Alex's confession, the way he's been searching for her all night. I don't know if this is fate or just a mess, he says, his voice raw, But I know I want to find out what this is. Emily looks into his eyes, the same eyes that caught her during that kiss, and something inside her shifts. She's spent so long guarding her heart, but in this moment, she decides to take a chance. Me too, she whispers, and they lean in, kissing again. This time, no mistakes, no mix-ups, just them. But here's the final twist, the one that's going to leave you gasping. As Emily and Lucas pull back from their kiss, a figure steps out of the shadows. Claire, Emily's sister, who's been in New York all along, working with Daniel to orchestrate this night. She's been watching from afar, hoping her sister would find the courage to love again. "I'm sorry, Em," Claire says, tears in her eyes. "I just wanted you to be happy." Emily's stunned, but as she looks at Claire, then at Lucas, she realizes that this crazy, messy night was exactly what she needed. The twist isn't just that Claire was behind it, it's that she's been carrying her own secret. She's engaged to Daniel, and the gala is their way of announcing it. Emily's world flips upside down, but instead of anger, she feels a strange gratitude. This night, with all its chaos, brought her to Lucas, to a love she never expected. The resolution comes as Emily and Lucas agree to start over, to get to know each other without the games, while Claire and Daniel promise to come clean about everything. Mia and Jake, meanwhile, finally get their moment. Jake confesses his feelings, and Mia, blushing, admits she's been noticing him too. The subplots tie up neatly, with Mia landing the gala contract and Jake promising to be her biggest supporter, their own romance just beginning. As we wrap this story, I want you to feel the weight of what just happened. This isn't just a love story. It's a reminder that life's biggest moments often come from the smallest mistakes. Emily and Lucas found each other through a series of mix-ups, orchestrated by people who loved them, but it was their courage to trust that spark that made it real. You've probably had moments like this. Times when you took a chance, followed your heart, and found something beautiful on the other side. This story's for you, for the dreamers, the skeptics, the ones who believe in love even when it's messy. Emily and Lucas walk off into the New York night, hand in hand, ready to write the next chapter of their lives. Mia and Jake are laughing, planning their own adventure, and Claire and Daniel are starting fresh, their secrets out in the open. The takeaway? Love finds a way, even when it starts with a mistake. So, my friends, keep your heart open, because you never know when one mistaken kiss might lead to a lifetime of love.